It's time for Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is another edition of Bringing the Heat with Bryan on the season finale for 2024. It is coming, gone, and I can tell you, I think we are all, yes.
Front of our live studio audience.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think we're all ready for a little bit of a break, time to regroup, recharge, and before we dive on into 2025 action with the Clash at Bowman Gray on Sunday, February 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. With me this weekend, with me this evening, I should say, we're going to have Trey Lyle, my producer. He's going to be co-hosting with me on the season finale. And then our interview that we're going to be diving into right now is going to be Michael Massie, conducted in Martinsville with the driver of the number 25 truck in the 2024 season, that being in Dawson Sutton. So without further ado, let's dive on in to that interview right now.
Now it's time for...
I'm joined with a new sensation on the Craftsman Truck Series circuit, Dawson Sutton.
To go into the Inferno with Bryan.
What's up, everyone? Michael Massie here for FrontStretch.com. I'm at Martinsville Speedway. I'm joined with a new sensation on the Craftsman Truck Series circuit, Dawson Sutton. Dawson, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, for sure. So you took over the Rackley truck a couple races ago, finishing out the year. First off, did you kind of have an inkling that was coming, or was it a total shock when you found out you're finishing out the truck season?
Yeah, it's been a really good year so far, and to get the opportunity to get in this Rackley 25 truck, started out at Wilkesboro in the 26 truck, and it's a super cool opportunity for me just to go there, and it was a eventful race. It didn't go to plan, but I knew that we had National Super Speedway as well, my home track, and we had a pretty good finish there. And this whole year's just been going really good, and even in the late model program, it's really, we've just picked it up, and I'm really excited to finish off the year tonight and at Phoenix next weekend.
And you got a busy weekend this weekend. You're racing here in Martinsville tonight in the trucks, and then you're going over to do double trouble at Nashville Fairgrounds. Have you ever done that many races in one weekend?
Yeah, it's a super busy weekend, and a couple weeks ago I raced Kansas and Pensacola in the same weekend, so I'm kind of used to the double duty action. I've never done triple duty before, so this is definitely be a super long weekend, and it's going to be a long one. So just getting I think I'm ready for it, and it's going to be really fun.
Tennessee guy racing at the fairgrounds this weekend. Do you think that that's a track that NASCAR should be going to?
Yeah, for sure. It's such a cool racetrack, and it's so close to my house. So it would be really cool to race there, and it's definitely one of my dreams. And hopefully it goes there in a few years, so I can. I think I have a step on everybody else there.
Your first, not your first truck race, but your first one taking over the 25. You get that top 5. Do you feel like that was kind of validating, like proving that you belong here in this series?
Yeah, for sure. It's super cool to get my first top 5, and I think we have we've proved ourselves, and we seem to be pretty fast every weekend now. And you come here, and this track really suits my driving style, so I think we can hopefully pick up another top 5 and hopefully go for the win tonight. Now
you kind of skipped the ARCA series, going straight to trucks. You're full time next year. So what was it like? You've raced tons of late models, stuff like that at the short tracks. What was it like that first time getting on a 1.5 miles, one of those bigger tracks,
Yeah, luckily we have the simulator to, practice on for the bigger tracks. And honestly, in my opinion, the bigger tracks feel slower than the smaller tracks just because you got more power. And honestly, it just feels slow, the 1.5 miles and stuff. I've only been to 2 of them so far, so I can't say the same for the others, but honestly, the bigger tracks, in my opinion, seem a little bit slower than the smaller tracks. I'm used to the super late models and the cars with a lot of downforce and just a ton of power. So getting in one of these things, it's just everything's slowed down.
Oh, that's interesting. I would not have thought that. So that's a good answer for sure. You're gonna be full time next year. I mentioned that. What are the feelings going into that? Are you excited, nervous, both? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm not nervous. I'm really excited. Just thankful for the opportunity from Rackley Roofing and Rackley War and all the people over here. They really worked their butts off, and I think it's gonna be a really good year, and I still have a lot to prove, and I think we can really put on a show next year.
And you're going to be doing the number 26 next year, not 25. Is that what I believe that's what I read, right?
Yeah, hopefully the 26 truck is that's the goal. Hopefully run the 26. That's my number, and right now just finish off the year in the 25 and do what we got to do.
Why is 26 your number?
It's what I started with, and hopefully it's what I end with as well. So I started out in legend cars a couple years ago with 26, and we just came through the ranks running 26 late models and trucks. So hopefully we can make that deal happen next year.
Was there any particular reason that was your first number, or just a random number?
Not really. Willie Allen, the late model owner of the team, he ran 26. So that's basically where it came from, and I stuck with it. It was definitely one of my favorite numbers. So that's why I'm here now.
Okay. Now, it was announced a couple weeks ago, you guys are, Rackley's partnering with KHI, and the release said that, Kevin Harvick's going to be like a consultant for the truck team. Have you talked to him at all yet? Had any meetings with Kevin? Or?
Yeah, he's a super good, mentor, and I'm really lucky to, have him on my back, and I can ask him questions. He's done all this before, so he's really good to, ask questions from, and he's really good at these tracks as well. So, I've asked him some questions about, Martinsville and Phoenix coming up, and, hopefully, just keep using him as a guide, and it's really cool to have him.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of knowledge in that guy's brain. So next year, when you're doing the full truck schedule, are you going to keep doing any late model racing stuff on the side, or?
Yeah, for sure. The goal is to run, all the big super late model races, and hopefully some pro late model races as well next year. Just keep me in the zone for the late model stuff. It's really competitive as well. So hopefully we can go run some of the bigger stuff next year as well.
Gotcha. So you got Shane Wilson as your crew chief to finish out the year. He's won in all three series, national series. Does that put any extra pressure for you to perform for a guy who's seen the top level of success?
Yeah, there's always pressure. He's a really good crew chief, and hopefully I can go finish out the year on my part. And we have good trucks, and I just got to go do my thing, and hopefully we can pick off two more wins this year.
Yeah. Will Shane be the crew chief next year? Do you know that yet, or?
I'm not sure about that yet, honestly. Right now we're just going to finish off the year strong, and I think it'll be really good.
Okay. And how did you decide that, racing was your thing, that you wanted to be a race car driver when you grew up?
Yeah, 3 years ago, I started racing the legend cars, and before that, I really didn't know much about racing. My dad started sponsoring a truck a couple years ago, Clay Greenfield in the Truck Series, and I went to Daytona, and that was my first race, and I really fell in love with it as soon as I walked through the gates of Daytona. So that's really where I came from, and then I got an iRacing simulator at home that I'm on, every day. So it really just keeps me in the zone, and that's basically how I fell in love with it. And ever since, I just have a passion, and I love the sport, and just have to thrive to be the best.
I'll send you out on more of a fun one. Well, first, have you tried the Martinsville hot dog yet?
I have. I just tried it.
You did. What'd you think?
I don't know about it. I don't love it. It's another hot dog.
Okay. If you were taxed to, though, if your your life, job, whatever depended on it, how many of those things do you think you could eat in one sitting?
I don't know. I don't think I'll eat any more this weekend for sure. I didn't love it.
All right, not a fan, but great race car driver, coming up through the ranks. Keep track of Dawson Sutton and the number 25 truck the rest of this season. I'm Michael Massie. Have a great day.
Once again, that was Michael Massie's interview with Dawson Sutton from Martinsville. Big thanks to Mass for letting us play that on the season finale of the program. Let's dive on into what is still hot, where we look at the latest news and notes of the NASCAR world.
What's still hot? It's time to upgrade you on the latest news in NASCAR.
All right, I'm going to bring in my co-host. He is the producer, also the host of the host of Happy Hour, producer of Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen, Mr. Trey Lyle. Trey.
Well, I'm the podcast manager. You got to give me my full time.
Okay. Podcast manager, producer on the Ed Lane Show. I mean, you got a plethora of different titles.
Stay busy.
Yeah, you definitely do. But thanks for coming on the program, man. Great time that you had yesterday with Toby Christie of TobyChristie.com. A great informative, even though he made fun of me like you always do. But even him decided to join in on the action.
What?
So,
We're so
yeah.
nice to you. Hey, you're
Uh,
going to present an award
I am.
for the Front Stretch Awards.
I know. And check that out next Tuesday.
You know what? And it's going to be my favorite. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell the listeners what it is. Just tune in. You know what?
You may even be nominated for it.
It might be my favorite moment in the history of my time here at Front Stretch.
Oh my!
That's how I feel about this. How good your ability will be to present that award. I'm so confident in you.
Okay. Without further ado, let's dive on into our latest news and notes. The 2025 schedule, times, and networks were announced for the three main NASCAR series. 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, February 2nd is when the Clash will be held. The NASCAR Cup Series race will be returning to action under the lights. In Nashville, 7 p.m. Eastern, that'll be on Amazon Prime. The Mexico City race will be a 3 p.m. start. Chicago Street race is going to be bumped up to 2 p.m. start time on TNT. As well as a noticeable one for the Cup Series in Las Vegas. That's now going to be a 2:30 p.m. local start time, a 5:30 p.m. Eastern start time, that being on USA. Any notable newsworthy things that you saw out of the schedule networks being announced, Trey? I mean, we didn't even mention the trucks and Xfinity. The trucks even got some big Fox races on their calendar. Anything stand out to you?
No, not really. I think this is always going to be a conversation. Like, if there's a rain delay, I've given up on the TV window thing. It's just when a race happens. I would argue that instead of debating about the TV windows, tracks get so much money they should just put lights out. Like, just seems simpler to me, and you can have more flexibility that way. But that's just me. But nothing really. I know this is like the terrible answer. Like, honestly, I'm going to forget all of these times. I tell you, like, I basically look, unless I'm covering the race where I get the schedule beforehand, I am typically like either the Saturday or the Sunday before the race checking Twitter to see, or checking Bob's tweet to see when everything is. Like, that's how it works. Like, you have so much going on. Like, I really am not like in my calendar like the Daytona 500 is at 3:00. Like, I'm not, or whatever time it is. But so I always think there should be more night races. But other than that, I like how the CW, if you look at it, it looks like they're either going to be sandwiched between a football game or after football, or right before it's going to be the Pac-12, I guess. Pac-12 after dark stuff. So I'm so maybe Brian's ideal night. He'll get some Xfinity racing and then maybe some Boise State football. So
heck yeah, love that.
And before that, it could be some ACC football. Hopefully not like what Michael Massie and I had to endure in the Martinsville press box or media center watching Virginia Tech blow a lead against Syracuse on the CW right before the Xfinity race. But other than that, I am it's times. Like, I literally don't care. Like, it sounds bad. Like, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me a little irritated is I'm going to have to probably either rush to the airport for the end of the Portland race, or I'll have to take an early Sunday morning flight on Labor Day weekend. So that does not make me happy because it's going to be a 7:30 Eastern start. That'd be 4:30 Portland time. So if I can find like an 8 p.m. flight, I'm going to have to rush to the airport. So that doesn't make me too happy. But like
no one cares about that other than you.
Exactly. It's called first world problems, Trey.
Very much so.
Exactly. What people do care about, though, is the playoff format. And Elton Sawyer was on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. And according to Adam Stern, the Sports Business Journal, they said this, according to SBJ, two people familiar with the matter confirmed to SBJ that NASCAR planned to review the format this offseason, with one saying Any change for 2025 will be more likely to be small tweaks given that the season is only a few months away. Any change would have an impact on not only teams, but also broadcasters, tracks, and sponsors. A more complete overhaul would thus likely need to wait until 2026. And Trey, I think that last part is the big thing. Broadcasters, tracks, and sponsors would also have an impact. With that being said, it feels like nothing's going to happen crazy that we all want to happen.
Yeah, my guess is, you kind of like certain tracks have already promoted. This is a round of 8 race. So we will still have the elimination style tracks. Phoenix has already been promoted as the championship race of next year. We went into a long discussion. I mean, a really long discussion about this on Happy Hour. I think Toby offered some great I think we all did. I think I'm not trying to toot our own horns. I probably was the dumbest one of the 4. Just saying. Like I'll self-deprecate myself here, but we hated this feeling that we had coming off of Phoenix. And I feel like it was all bad. Like it took away from Joey Logano becoming a 3-time champion in this really crowning moment. And no one talked about it. No one cared. I mean, no one, and maybe because Joey Logano's not the most popular guy, but it felt weird. And now, so there do need to be changes made. And I understand because of financial reasons, they can't. I mean, I think there are minor tweaks that you can maybe change how the points work, like throughout the rounds or something, and that shakes out to be. And we'll see how that works this year. But I think I've gotten to the point where I think with all the parity, you need a 10 race chase, and because there's so much parity, there's no point of the winning in because so many people can win each week compared to before where it was I felt like harder to win. It's harder to win, but also it's not. It's harder for like the top tier guys to win multiple times, but now it's easier for the middle tier guys to win, if that makes sense, than it was before. I feel like. So it's a complicated problem because of financial reasons why they can't change it in 25. I hope they do make sweeping changes in 26, and maybe that's the next. It always seems like this. That always seems like the next, changing point in the year. So we'll see.
Let's dive on into our soundbite of.
You have no thoughts about that, Brian?
I mean, I'm not gonna get my hopes up, Trey. I mean, I would love to have a 3-race end of the year playoff, but I mean, is that really gonna happen? I don't know. Like, I really would love to see it change, but I mean, it feels like NASCAR just drags their feet a little bit,
Yeah, that's why they're waiting a year and a half to make changes.
True. Let's dive on into our soundbite of the week where we hear from Joey Logano, and he has a message for all of the critics who want to bitch about this format.
Well, Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? Dumb little runs us clear down to the infield. He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little. I'm going to bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
And short track races.
It's time for the sound bites of the week.
Matt Weaver, Sports Not. The Winston Cup purists are out in full force tonight, as you might imagine. And I'm curious, they say, 17.4 average finish or whatever it is, right? And he's not a real champion. Is there anything you would say to that subset of the fan base?
No. No. I got nothing to say to him. I got a pretty sweet trophy right now. I've been laughing all the way to the bank.
And the only reason I thought you might have something to say is that you came in here yesterday and you said that you wanted to come in today and step on everyone's throat. And at the time, I thought that was kind of bold because the thing in sports is always you don't give the other team bulletin board material. So is there any part of you or Paul or RP that's like, Joey, you shouldn't do that? And do you feel any sort of trepidation in making such a bold declaration like that?
I told you I work better under pressure. I got to put pressure on myself, and that's one of the ways. The race started weeks ago, right? And in here is part of the race, so it never stops. And to your point about championships and what it is. The only reason why they don't say this about other sports is because they didn't change the playoff system. But the playoff system in other sports is not much different than what this is. You can have a great regular season. It seeds you better for the playoffs, right? Now, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to go all the way to Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup Finals or the NBA Finals. It doesn't matter. It might help you. And it's the same way in NASCAR, the way we have the rules now, is that you set yourself up much better, right? You look at the way we came into the playoffs versus the 5, the 45. Those guys that scored 15 playoff points for winning the regular season championship. That's 3 wins worth of points in 3 races. That's hard to make up that amount of points. And they have the same opportunity to go out there and win and move on to the next round. So for someone to say this isn't real, it's a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion. That's wrong. This is something that everyone knows the rules when the season starts.
I mean, Joey's right, Trey. Everyone knew how to win, and if you win, you're in. And Joey came into the round of 8, and he won. And Reddick went in the round of 8 and won at Homestead. So did Blaney. I mean, you can argue all you want about this format and how it may change, and it probably should change. But here's the thing. Joey Logano did what he had to do with the cards he was dealt with, and he got the job done. And, I mean, it's not his fault the playoff system is flawed.
Yeah, I'm going to get to his dumb comparison in our final segment about comparing it to stick and ball sports. But, yeah, if you win that title, you're not going to complain how you won it. Like...
Not wrong.
That's how he's won his 3 titles. And his best year was 2015. He got wrecked at a race. And I bet that year he wished it was a different style where that Martinsville race where Matt Kenseth wrecked him didn't mean as much. So, I feel very conflicted this whole week. And I want to give Joey Logano credit. He is a very clutch race car driver. He is now 2nd in wins this season with 4. 3 of the last 10 races of the year were won by Joey Logano. Did he have a lot of luck during this whole back half of the year, whether it was Nashville, the way that ended, how he, basically got the right fuel mileage, and Christopher Bell basically got enough traffic blocking him from getting to him, and Atlanta is basically a luck kind of thing, and I don't want to take that away from him. Like, he's a 3-time champion. Him and Penske play this format better than anyone, and you have to give him a lot of credit. Now, do I like how he did it? No, but I respect it.
I respect it too. I mean, 3-time champion. You got the likes of Cale Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip,
Tony Stewart.
Yeah, him too. Just fantastic. So without further ado, let's dive into our final thoughts where we wrap up this program and this show for 2024.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line. Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag.
The checkered flag is out, and it's time for the final thoughts.
Alrighty, our final thought segment is in the air. Whatever you want to rant, rave, or anything in between. Trey Lyle, my friend, the floor is yours.
Jeff Gluck has mentioned this, and I agree with him. Can we please stop comparing our format to stick and ball sports? It's the dumbest dog doo-doo that is out there because it's not a fair comparison. In the championship game, you don't have the Chiefs and the 49ers are playing. You don't have the Atlanta Falcons, throwing a flag on the field to stop the game like Zane Smith did to wreck. Like, it's 1v1, a mano y a mano. Same thing in baseball, same thing in basketball. It's that one team versus that one team. It's not even like wrestling. It's not a fatal 4-way match at Phoenix. Like, it's not like cars where it's the 3 cars going for the championship. There are still 36. So other cars affect the championship race. Another reason why this format is stupid. I just am tired. I got to the point this weekend where people were like, in baseball, someone maybe during the PRC said the Arizona Diamondbacks made the World Series, and that was Brian.
That was me.
And I didn't want to correct him. That's a dumb comparison because the Diamondbacks had to win 8 games, or actually no, they had to win 2 wildcard games, 3 in the ALDS, and then 4 in the Champions League Championship Series, and they still lost to the Texas Rangers, who were one of the best teams of baseball that year. Like, your comparison theoretically is the same as Joey Logano being a wild card team and making it to the championship, but that just doesn't work in racing because the Arizona Diamondbacks played one team at a time. Joey Logano had to race 3 guys plus, was it 33 or 32 other people? Let's come on, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm just done. It's what Joey said. It's bullshit. You said it. Joey said it. Now I said it, and I'm not even gonna bleep it out because I think you don't have to. So there we go.
You're doing okay. You get a little.
This is my 3rd time talking about this freaking weekend this week. Okay, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, my patience is wearing thin.
I feel you. One thing that I loved about this weekend is what happened Saturday night. I mean, back against the wall times a million. Let's start Friday night. You go in for Justin Allgaier, slips in oil, crashes backup car. You then go to Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. He gets a flat tire, has to go into the pit. Then he gets a speeding penalty. He's 1 lap down. You need every single thing to happen. He got the caution from Anthony Alfredo. Got on the lead lap where he was already on the lead because of green flag pit stops. He then gets everything he needed. He was in row number 3 with NASCAR overtime. Got up there. Caution came out while he was leading. He then held off Cole Custer, held off Austin Hill. And for the first time in 7 tries, Justin Allgaier finally did it. For so many times this year, we say Justin Allgaier's worst enemy is Justin Allgaier because he gets in his way time in and time out again.
He's the Denny Hamlin of the Xfinity Series.
I said it multiple times this weekend, Trey. He is the Denny Hamlin of the Xfinity Series. But the thing is, he turned that narrative upside down. And maybe Denny will next year. We'll have to wait and see. But however, Justin Allgaier turned his luck around. And for the first time in 7 times, he is a NASCAR Xfinity champion. And for the ovation that he got, I have never heard a crowd that loud at Phoenix for a championship than I did on Saturday night. It was way louder than Logano on Sunday. Last year, I think it was pretty loud for Blaney, but I don't think it was that loud. You saw all the congratulations from Hill and Custer and Allmendinger. They went up to him. Ryan Blaney came out of his motorhome preparing for a incredible championship run that he was going to have the next day to go and celebrate him. We saw how happy Dale and Kelly and Jim Pullman were. That's the kind of guy that wanted it so badly. He was willing to risk anything. And finally, for the first time, for him personally, good things happen to good people. And Justin Allgaier is the epitome of that. And for now, he is the reigning NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
Question, you were there. Did you think he was going to retire when he started bringing it up?
I don't know, man. Like,
For about 5 seconds, I did.
Same. But then I was like, he just signed a new contract like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
so,
I mean,
we saw the Carl Edwards effect where you can, it happens, but like, he has wanted this so badly, and he finally got it done. So, I mean, it's such a feel-good story. You saw so many of the emotion. We have had Michael Carey come on the program before. He was part of SRX. Now he works for Junior Motorsports. Got to hang out with him a little bit this weekend. So really cool to see just the entire
Junior Motorsports. Is that the word you're looking for?
I think just the entire community just celebrate this, because I don't think there's one person mad. I mean, sure, AJ, Cole, and Austin, they're mad, but they weren't like pissed off, angry. Like, they were all truly, truly happy for Justin Allgaier, and that's what it's all about. Because a guy that is spent time in and time out, not just raising, but mentoring young and up-and-coming guys, finally got the job done. And it was awesome to see.
I think the same thing can be said about Ty Majeski, which someone here on Happy Hour may or may not have said Chris Neckis made a grave mistake and NASCAR karma was going to come back to bite him.
Yeah.
That someone, Brian, you want to guess who was that?
Hey, that was Trey Lyle.
That was Trey Lyle. I also picked Justin Allgaier to win the Xfinity Championship. My Tyler Reddick pick was not really close to finishing off, but yeah, I think the same thing could be said about Ty Majeski. Both guys who really never got a real shot at Cup. Allgaier was at Cup, but never really in good equipment. Yeah. And Ty has never been to Cup. And Ty has had some Xfinity starts. Like, both dudes are grinders. Like, think about this. Like, Justin Allgaier was helping get the 9 car ready before his, the biggest race of his career. And Ty was an engineer at Thor Sport and got limited opportunity and went full time. And then obviously he kicked everyone's ass on that truck race. And so it was weird. Like, it was building up to be, I think, a great weekend. Like, back to, and again, I don't think it's Joey himself. I think it was the fact that we all knew kind of like how Joey got there and how, I'll say weird. I won't say, because it wasn't controversial. Like, it's not like he never did anything wrong theoretically in these steps, but coming off of Martinsville and then leading to that, it just sucks that you have this bitter taste in your mouth at the last 2 races of the season. Because I think Phoenix was not a great race. Martinsville was much improved, not really going to be talked about. And then I thought it was building to a good championship week, and unfortunately it ended the way it did.
I that Xfinity race was probably one of the best races I've ever seen live. I think it was one of the best races the Xfinity Series has had for a championship
it always
race.
Delivers.
There was something special about that. It was just because of Allgaier having to come from a speeding penalty, coming from everything that happened on Friday. It led up and led up and led up. It was just so good. And then the restart, and then caution came out, and then another restart. There's so many things. It was awesome. And I think everybody said it best. That was probably the best Cup Phoenix race that you could get. The first 2 stages were snoozers, but the last 30 laps were fantastic. Just it was unfortunate that Ryan.
Yeah, there was only 30 good laps, and that was it.
Yeah, but it's better than 0, like we've had in the past,
True.
So I think it says a lot more about the car than it does Phoenix, but
a little column A, column B.
Okay, that works. But once again, big thanks to everybody that supports the Front Stretch Happy Hour and Front Stretch Bringing the Heat podcast. Big thanks to everybody that was a co-host this weekend or this week, this year, this month. Apparently, we're just throwing out words now. Big thanks to all of our guests. I truly do. Big thanks to all of our guests. Big thanks to Trey Lyle for putting up with me on a week in and week out basis. We are not done, though. One final podcast for 2024. Trey.
There's 2, actually.
There's 2. What's the second one?
There's a Christmas episode of Happy Hour. Come on, man.
Oh, and then the awards. I thought the Christmas and the awards worked together in one.
Awards is next Tuesday. When's Christmas, man?
Christmas is like 40 days away, I think.
Yeah, and we're doing the awards show on Tuesday.
My bad. Okay, so next week, the award show, then you have the Christmas show, and then we are done for the 2024 Front Stretch podcasts. It's been fun. Trey, any departing thoughts on the Bring the Heat side?
If you want to send Brian a calendar at the Bryan Nolen, and he can figure out when Christmas is.
I would love any gifts that you guys would give me. Big shout out to everybody that there was a couple people that came up to me in Phoenix and said that they loved the podcast, specifically Happy Hour. So, Trey, I'll give you a little pat on the back there. Maybe it's because of the puke combs. I don't know. But
he made his return this week. He made his return.
He did. And I bet there were some folks in the head offices in Daytona Beach not happy with his performance. But that is probably a story for a different day. But once again, big thanks to everybody.
They're feuding with Denny Hamlin right now, so we're okay.
After what you saw on X on Wednesday night,
we're in the clear. So for everybody in the sports program, for Trey Lyle and everybody associated with Front Stretch, I am Bryan Nolen signing off for 2024. We'll talk with you a week before the Clash. It's going to be fun, but the 2024 season has concluded, and Joey Logano is a 3-time champion.
I'm Caleb Barnes with FrontStretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.